It's a feeling that is like no other. I think in international football, in knockout football, it's even a worse feeling because you're 30 seconds from going home, having to listen to all the rubbish, feeling like you've let a nation of people down, and in 30 seconds or in one kick of the ball, everything can change. And it's a feeling that I don't like to be in, but when it's done, it feels great. So it's a habit that I've picked up from Madrid. Obviously, my game's improved a lot since I've joined, and really grateful I could bring it to this game. Thank you. Yeah.
When you celebrated, you seemed to shout, "Who else?" Does that just come from, like you've just been talking about, the fact you have picked up a knack of scoring these late goals, or is it something you kind of, a vision you had in your head or something like that? Can you just try and explain the emotion that came out?
I think the adrenaline gets you, but it's a combination of a lot of things. You playing for England is an enjoyable feeling, but it's also a lot of pressure. You hear people talk a lot of rubbish, and it's nice that when you deliver, you can give them a little bit back. It's very difficult in press conferences and interviews and things like that to talk as openly as footballers want to, because they're always judged. And for me, football and being on the pitch, scoring goals, celebrating is my release. And it was maybe a message to a few people, but it was a very happy moment and full of adrenaline.
Is that the best goal of your career?
Probably, yeah. It's got to be in it. It's got to be up there anyway. There's a few nice ones, ones that mean a lot to me personally, like my first goal for Birmingham, Dortmund, Madrid. They're always special ones, but I think it's one that's right up there. It's so important in terms of today and the mood change if it doesn't happen. So I think that it's definitely up there.
Does a comeback like that and the feeling you get from it, can that really be a moment that sort of kick-starts the rest of the tournament for you now? Yeah,
definitely. I think besides their goal, I thought we were pretty good, to be honest. We had a lot of control. We got into really good areas. We were dangerous. I think we still had one or two moments where we could be a little bit more clinical, but in general, I thought it was a good performance from us. And obviously, the main thing that we done was showed character, and that's something that I think in the qualifying games it's difficult to replicate because the opposition sometimes are of a different level and they come to Wembley with a different style, for example. And also there's a lot of chances to redeem it if you don't get a great result. But I think in knockout football, when you can produce a moment like that and everyone kind of looks around at each other and realises, wow, that's the spirit we actually have got in that team, it can help a lot. But also you don't experience things like that if you don't have the adversity of the two draws, if you don't have the adversity of going 1-0 down. So yeah, it's brilliant because it shows a reaction.
Jude, you mentioned about the rubbish for a couple of times there. Just wondering what you meant by that and whether it's annoyed you or what exactly has annoyed you.
I think you know what I mean by the rubbish. I think, like I said, playing for England, it should be one of the most proud things of a footballer's career. But often at times it is quite difficult. There's a really high, intense pressure. The fans expect a lot from us, regardless of kind of what happened in recent tournaments years and years ago. So people talk a lot, and I think you do have to take it personally a little bit. We work so hard at this game. We come in and we train every day so hard to try and put on performances for the fans, and sometimes it doesn't go well, and sometimes feels like there's a bit of a pile on, and it's not nice to hear, but you can always use it. And for moments like that, it's nice to kind of throw it back to some people, I suppose.
Jude, you said it was probably the best goal of your career, but in terms of moments that you've had, spontaneous moments, where does it rank?
It's got to be up there again. I think it's 30, 20 seconds until we're out of the European Championship, and like I said, the mood in comparison to now that it would have been is a massive difference, and what it can do for the team going forward. So I think it's hard to deny that it was one of the most important kind of moments of my career so far. And we'll see though. It's still a long tournament, and it's only really very important if we go on to win the cup. So we'll decide in the next 2 weeks how important it is.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, everyone. Have a good evening.